Our next question is one that we've received from a lot of people on Twitter and via email. It's about this coming week, AEW will have, along with Bleacher Report, the first ever AEW Dynamite Awards.
What, are they stealing the Corny Awards idea we just had last week?
I guess so.
Already plagiarism.
I have a list of the categories and nominees. Can I read these to you and see who you pick to win the AEW Dynamite Awards?
Sure.
For Best Moment on the Mic, the nominees are MJF and his We Deserve Better speech, Cody Rhodes accepting the dog collar match, Jon Moxley accepting the Inner Circle's invitation to join, Brandy Rhodes confronting Jade Cargill.
There you go.
And Orange Cassidy debating Chris Jericho.
Seriously. The only one of those things that actually perked our ears up and sounded like anybody meant what they were saying was Brandy's promo on Jane Cargill. So I got to go with that one.
I concur. The nominees,
I knew you would.
The nominees for Biggest Surprise are Matt Hardy's debut, Jake the Snake Roberts confronting Cody, Brody Lee arrives as the Exalted One, Sting's AEW debut, and Miro revealed as Best Man.
I got a wild card for you. The biggest surprise of all was TNT renewing that program for longer periods of time after seeing what they were doing originally. That's the biggest surprise.
I don't think it's a surprise because it's cheap programming for them.
It's a surprise that anybody would walk up after seeing what they had done for the first couple of months, walk up to them and say, please do more of this for a longer period of time. That's the biggest surprise to me.
If you're a TV executive who knows that you have this show at a relatively inexpensive price and knows nothing about wrestling, you may see that and go, I guess this is just what the wrestling business is. How much does the show cost? Oh, that's nothing. Let's sign them up.
Well, I guess you're right. Okay, the most surprising moment, TV executives have lost their freaking minds.
The Breakout Star of the Year for the male category. The nominees are Orange Cassidy.
What the
Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, and from the Dark Order, John Silver.
Well, with all due respect to Eddie's promos, the only if there's a breakout star in that category, it's Darby Allin.
I agree. For Breakout Star of the Year female, the nominees are...
Is none of the above on the list?
Hikaru Shida, Anna Jay, Ty Conti, Big Swole. Can't even say that without laughing.
Yeah.
Big Swole, and Penelope Ford.
And the award goes to Serena Deeb. What the fuck?
Well, would you give for Breakout Star of the Year? I don't know. I mean...
Okay, well, no, okay.
Best comeback, maybe.
If we're going to give an award to a member of the AEW female wrestling roster, the only two that shouldn't be working at a topless car wash or teaching fucking grade school are Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa. So just give them everything, because otherwise you're just awarding the amateur hour.
I would give it to Anna Jay. In terms of actual breakout, coming from nowhere, getting over your first appearance, getting a contract.
Cinderella story. Out of nowhere.
Story. Anna Jay, I would pick her.
Yeah.
I don't think every one of these women need to be at a topless car wash, whatever you just
Some
said.
of them could teach grade school.
The candidates, the nominees for Biggest Beatdown.
Goddamn, there's 6 of those on every program. And then they should have an in-ring live beatdown award and a back in the locker room pre-tape beatdown award.
The nominees are The Inner Circle jumps Orange Cassidy, Dark Order attacks Nightmare Family, Nyla Rose puts Riho and Sheeta through tables, Brian Cage sneak attacks Jon Moxley, and the Nightmare Family and Inner Circle Brawl.
Well, I don't even really remember any of those, but what about this? What about the best beatdown should be the one that caused the most damage? What about when the one girl threw the other girl on Britt Baker and broke her leg, tore her knee up? Or what? But they've had like half a dozen injuries that have happened right on television. Why don't they show those and go, okay, the person that was hurt the worst by one of these bumblefuck klutzes that can't stick their thumb in their ass with 3 tries, the award goes to, and then they wheel him out in a fucking gurney, hooked up to a machine, wrapped up like the Invisible Man sipping soup through a straw.
I don't know if that necessarily goes with the spirit of this award. I would pick the
best beatdown.
Best beatdown. I would go with the Dark Order attacking the Nightmare Family. That was a classic all-out beatdown.
Oh, is that the one where the guy punched the shit out of the canvas of the ring?
No, that wasn't
a foot away from Dustin's head.
No, that was actually a completely separate one. This is the one where Brody won the title. I think this is the one where Brody Lee won the title and then destroyed Cody. And next thing you know, Dustin and QT are dragged out. They're beaten up. Anna Jay chokes out Brandy Rhodes. It was a complete destruction of the Nightmare Family. I would go with that.
How long were all those people off and out of action?
Until Cody was done filming that show.
Oh, but he was okay afterwards.
Yeah, no, he had dark hair. It did something to cause his hair.
It beat his hair dark.
The candidates, the nominees for High Flyer Award are Ray Phoenix, Mark Quinn, Nick Jackson, or Pac. And interesting to note,
or anybody else on the show.
Pac's name, 3 letters, in caps. I didn't realize that before.
Oh yeah, they capitalize it. Yeah, they do. What makes them anything different than Top Flight and Hoverboard and Danny Limelight?
I can tell you right now,
Joe Buttfuck and the Buttfuck Twins and the Burrito Brothers and Naomi and everybody else that does flips and dives and splashes and flops and cartwheels and gymnastics and cheerleading routines and tic-tackles and flip-flops.
Well, the people you just named, excluding the Flying Burrito Brothers,
and Naomi.
The people you just named weren't there until just recently. I think this covers a longer period of time, so you're looking at...
I just mentioned a few. Basically, you can't have a best flyer because that's all any of them do. But going amongst the one... Mark Quinn gets a lot of height on his cheerleading routines. He'd be a hit if he joined the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Let's go with him.
The nominees for hardest moment to clean up after...
Wait a minute.
Even their awards they don't take seriously.
Well, besides that, I don't think they have been able to clean up some of the stains they've left. But now, some of these things might not be something that we should just talk about, out in public on the air, some of the things they've had to clean up after. Oh, they're just talking about stuff that's happened on the wrestling show, not behind the scenes shit they need to cover up or anything.
That's right. No snowstorms talked about here. But the hardest moment to clean up after, the nominees, Orange Cassidy drops orange juice on the inner circle, the parking lot brawl, the bunkhouse match, and finally, Big Swole dumps garbage on Dr. Britt Baker.
Oh, I don't know. I don't see how any of that stuff can compare to the weekly shit that Tony Khan takes in his own ring in terms of his booking. Because that not only is hard to clean up, but the smell lasts for so long. But let's go with Big Swole. Anything that's hard to clean up.
Okay.
Big Swole's got to have a part in it.
I will abstain from that category. The next category, the nominees for biggest what the fuck moment. Cody Rhodes, steel cage moonsault. Sammy Guevara, hit by a golf cart. Kenny Omega wins the AEW World Championship and walks out of AEW. A bloody Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida. And finally, the Young Bucks frog splash off of the stadium railing.
Oh, good God. Was that one of the ones they hurt themselves on because they were doing stupid shit and they had no business doing?
One of them got hurt. I don't know if that was the spot but
I don't
maybe.
know. They hurt themselves regularly. And they as well. They don't hurt themselves physically as bad as they hurt their standing in people's eyes every time they have a match or try to have one. But anyway, I would say Cody's moonsault, because that was legitimately impressive and a what the fuck moment.
When was that? I mean, there were fans.
Remember,
there.
he did the moonsault.
I know, but
that was about a couple months ago.
So are these awards from the beginning of Dynamite till the end of 20?
It's your story. You're telling it. I'm just fucking commenting.
Okay.
But that's what he only did it once. He said he wasn't going to do it anymore, and I don't blame him. But that was impressive. The other things you mentioned, Britt Baker, she got busted open accidentally. I don't know why that's what the fuck. It happens all the time. It's wrestling. Kenny Olivier winning a fucking title in a company that he's one of the executive vice presidents of, and the promoter is figuratively, not literally, look those words up, folks, blowing him every week. So that's not a what the fuck moment. Sammy Guevara got hit by that golf cart. I've taken better bumps. If you want to see somebody get run over by something, look at the Eddie Gilbert running over Lawler in the parking lot at Channel 5 in Memphis. That's somebody got run over. That was a what the fuck moment. Sammy Guevara took a bump off a golf cart doing 4 miles an hour. What was the other choices? Or have you lost it already?
It's the other choice was the Young Bucks frog splash off the stadium railing.
Well, just because they look like frogs don't mean that they jump as well. So I'm going with Cody's moonsault. That's final answer.
Okay, the candidates for the Laugh Out Loud Award.
God, segments 1 through 11 on every weekly program.
Chris Jericho and MJF's Le Dinner Debonair.
Well, I'm glad that at least they acknowledged that was supposed to be a joke.
Britt Baker waxes Tony Schiavone.
I'm glad that they told us there that the heel was just acting funny to entertain us and is in no way really a obnoxious bitch.
The Young Bucks kick MJF into a pool.
Well, because the fucking heel has to be made fun of every time he's starting to get a little bit of heat. It has to be taken off of him, or elsewise it'd look too much like a wrestling program.
And finally, the Inner Circle's Vegas trip.
Yeah, what part of that was funny?
None of it.
There you go.
It was funny how much money they wasted filming it.
But that wasn't really funny unless you were the one of the people that they paid to be there for nothing. So I say none of the above on that one. Nothing they do. Everything is intended to make you laugh out loud. Nothing actually does.
The candidates for Best Twitter Follow are MJF, Orange Cassidy, Dr. Britt Baker, and Nyla Rose.
So they're not up for following for the most amount of followers. It's in other words, the best Twitter follow is which one of these people is best to follow on Twitter.
I would assume
is the phrasing of this. Well, I used to follow MJF. I can't remember whether I didn't block him. I don't know whether I unfollowed him after he became a song and dance man. I can't imagine any of the other people besides MJF having anything witty that I'd want to hear. So I would have to go there.
And finally, the Bleacher Report pay-per-view moment of the year. The nominees are Stadium Stampede, Jon Moxley wins AEW Championship, Hikaru Shida wins AEW Women's Championship, Omega and Page defeat the Young Bucks, Darby Allin wins TNT title from Cody, and finally, the Young Bucks win AEW Tag Team title.
Wow. Great moments. Actually, the greatest Bleacher Report moment was when they found out that Tony Khan was going to pay them a lot of money for them to write all these fucking suck-up puff pieces and complimentary fucking items for publicity on their website, right? That'd be the best Bleacher Report moment when they found out they were getting paid.
But it was Bleacher Report pay-per-view moment of the year.
Oh, okay. In that case, well, the football fuckery match almost got us to quit watching the entire professional wrestling industry. That was so embarrassing. And then you rattled off a bunch of other ones that I don't remember what any of them looked like because it was just all of the EVPs masturbating and filleting themselves endlessly in public. So I'll go with whichever one was listed on top just to make it easy.
And there it is. The categories and nominees for the AEW Dynamite Awards.
And I got an idea of what you could do with that Dynamite. You could put it underneath all them awards and blow them all to kingdom come. As Aunt Lola would say, most of those television programs are not worth the powder that it would take you to blow your own nose.